Comics of 100 Years Ago, November 24th, 1924. It's Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. There is a new woman checking out orphans at the orphanage. She has her purse tucked up over her arm. She has a long coat on with big cuff and collar. And Miss Asthma stands behind her and says, "Did you want a little boy or a little girl, Mrs. Preston?" "Well, I hardly know. John and I had about decided on a little boy, but with so many to pick from, it's hard to decide." "Boys are much less trouble, Mrs. Preston," says Miss Asthma. Mrs. Preston notices Annie and says, "Oh, isn't this little girl cute? And what is my little curly head's name?" "Annie," says Annie. "Annie! What a sweet name. My mother's name was Annie," says Mrs. Preston. She turns to Miss Asthma and says, "I will have to bring my husband to see her. He has his heart set on a little boy, but I'm sure he'll change his mind when he sees Annie." "Gee, she's swell," Annie says.